Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is TWiT Live Special number 260 for Tuesday, September 29th, 2015. The Tesla Model X live event. Folks, we are doing the big Tesla event. My name is Mike Elgin. Thank you for joining us here today. We are waiting now. The Tesla is behind schedule. This is an event that was originally scheduled for 7 p.m. Pacific, was moved pretty late in the game, pretty late in the week, to 8 p.m. Did they move that today, Jason, or was that moved yesterday? But very, very recently.
Yeah, I think it was earlier today that we got the update that it was moved.
So they're running late by design, and now they're running late accidentally. And so we're expecting at any moment for the live stream to begin. We're hearing lots of reports from journalists who've been crammed into what one journalist called a journalism jail filled with wine and cheese. And another journalist who told us that it's standing room only and they can't really type anything. They can't take notes because they can't put their devices on anything. So it's a pretty packed event. I heard one person throw out the number 1,000 people. This is in a kind of a factory floor kind of a place. It's not really designed for large groups. And what we're expecting today is we're expecting Tesla to announce and demonstrate their Tesla Model X all-electric SUV, which is supposed to, according to rumors, we haven't had any confirmation on any of this stuff yet, and that's what we're here today to get, ranging from $75,000, that number is according to Car and Driver magazine, all the way up to $132,000 for a model called the Signature Series Model X, and that has all kinds of great things like heated steering wheels and heated seats and an autopilot mode. So this is an expensive SUV that has the signature Falcon Wing doors, which, as Jason was telling us all, they basically come up to clear the car next to them, and then they fan out so that you're not knocking your head on the car doors. And it's going to be a screamer. It goes, according to rumors, 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. So that would probably be the insane mode that Elon Musk has talked about. So again, we're still waiting for this event to begin, and we'll see what they actually announce. I would also love to get more details about the Model 3, which is the relatively low-priced car that they're supposed to ship in 2017, and that should start around $35,000, which, you know, that's an expensive car, but it's still within the range of what you know, a family might buy in a sort of a mid-range to high-end family car. So we'll see how that goes. So at this point, we're still waiting for them to begin. And Jason, I don't know if you are a big fan of Tesla. They're actually a surprisingly controversial company in two ways. First of all, they assert themselves as a environmentally friendly alternative to regular cars. They sort of pioneered the lithium-ion battery-powered car with their Tesla Roadster years ago, and a lot of people say, well, that's not all that environmentally friendly. You still have to throw those batteries away when they die, and they are toxic and enormous and wasteful. But there are others who disagree, saying that although it is a problem, it's far better than pumping more toxins into the air and contributing to global warming. So they're controversial in that sense. They're also controversial in the sense of them as a business, as a future. So there are some on Wall Street that are very bullish on the future of Tesla, others who think that they may not make it, that the barriers and hurdles that stand in their way are insurmountable, and they will always remain a tiny car struggling to stay viable financially. So we'll see. But a lot of this depends on these kinds of events, and that's why it's so surprising that they are basically publicly demonstrating that they are unable to throw an event and have it start on time. That doesn't instill confidence. They're now 33 minutes behind schedule. All right, Sebastian, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. How do you like this timing over there
Well, it's what we expected. I mean, really, people were making jokes already before the event started whether we should take bets on if there's going to be a delay or not. So
yeah,
this should not surprise anyone who's been through this kind of rodeo before.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Sebastian, you're the editor-in-chief of Autoblog Green. Can you talk about your publication and what you guys do over there?
Sure. We have been, since April 2006, we have been covering all sorts of green vehicles. So in that time, we've written all kinds of stories about, biofuels and plug-in hybrids and pure electric cars, regular hybrids, fuel-efficient, gas engines, hydrogen cars, and everything from little startups to the big OEMs. So we try to cover the whole scope and breadth of this industry, and a car like the Model X is definitely a big one in that in that list.
Who do you think is going to be their main competition in the sort of, I guess you'd call it the high-end sporty electric vehicle market over the next couple of years? Do you think any of the conventional car companies, maybe some German companies, will give them a run for their money?
They've certainly said they're going to try. The Frankfurt Motor Show, which has happened a couple weeks ago, was full of the phrase Tesla fighter from Porsche, from Audi, Mercedes, I believe, as well. So yeah, those would be possible competitors. How it all plays out is a big deal because, as some people might think about when you think of the Prius, that was not a car that appealed to everyone, but for sure, when people thought of what is a green car, what does it mean to be fuel efficient, they thought Prius for many, many, many years. And nowadays, when people think what is a plug-in car, it's not as dominated by one brand. I mean, you do have people who will say it's the Leaf. You do have people who will say it's the Volt. But for people who maybe don't follow this segment as close as some of us do, Tesla is a name they will recognize. And so even if Audi or Porsche or somebody else comes in with a luxury all-electric CUV, SUV, Tesla might have an advantage just because that's a brand people know. That is it's just a thing that people aspire to, and they might think of the German automakers in somewhat of a different light.
Yeah, and what do you think the biggest challenge is? Is it the charging stations? Are there enough? So if you're a Tesla owner and you just like to drive, go on road trips and stuff like that, are you likely to be really nervous about striking out? I mean, we were talking about this in the chat room a little while ago, and there's some skepticism there that's really enough infrastructure for all the charging that would be required. What's the current state of Tesla-compatible charging stations?
Well, I don't have a Tesla, so I don't experience this in my own car. This summer, I did go on a 8 or 9 day trip through Europe with a bunch of electric vehicle fans, and some people did have Tesla owners. None of those people were worried, Tesla owners or otherwise, because they were all electric vehicle fans. So the Tesla owners, they knew where the superchargers were throughout the route that we were going on, and they all had plenty of range to get them to the charger or to the hotel and then on to the next charger the next day. Here in the U.S., it really all depends on where you're trying to get to. I haven't heard of many people say that they're worried. I remember speaking with a Model S owner in Arizona a few months ago, and he went, up into the hills. And the first time he made the drive, he said, yeah, he was kind of worried. He was wondering if his car would make it. And then when he, after he had made it once and was able to charge the destination for the drive back, then he, knew every future time that he would be able to make it as well. So people might be worried, especially once they get their Teslas for the first time. But it's just a learning process, and that does, change with time. And then people know, okay, I know I'm going to make this, and I can trust the range indicator or not. Maybe they drive in a manner where the range indicator doesn't quite match what their own reality is. But I haven't heard many stories of people, especially with Teslas, saying that they're worried about getting somewhere, especially if they do a little bit of planning ahead of time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you're joining us right now, this is the TWiT Live special covering the Tesla Model X live unveiling. The event is now 48 minutes behind schedule. They're scheduled to launch at 8 o'clock, and they're running late, which, again, is not a surprise. And we've heard a lot of rumors about the Model X, that it's going to range from $75,000 to $132,000, that, anybody who wants to reserve a spot can pay $5,000 for that privilege. We're also hearing that this car will go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds flat. It has Falcon wing doors, 3 rows of seats, and the second row has 3 seats, I believe. So there's a little bit of innovation in just the basic configuration. And we're talking to Sebastian Blanco, and Sebastian is the editor-in-chief of Autoblog Green. And Sebastian, I listed a short list of rumored features or attributes of this car. Did I miss any major rumors? What else are we expecting in this vehicle?
Well, the EPA talked, or on the EPA website today, or maybe yesterday, people were discovering the estimated range and fuel efficiency, so the MPGE numbers for this car. I don't have them at the top of my head, but I can pull them up real fast. They are not. It's a bigger car than the Model S, so the numbers are a little bit different, and then it also depends, obviously, on which version of the Model X you get. But from the numbers on the EPA site, the Model X 90D, so that would be the one with the 90 kilowatt pack, but not with the extra motor from the P90D version, extra power there. So the 90D has a 257-mile range along with 92 MPGE, that's combined, whereas the P90D has only, in quotes, 250 miles of range and then a MPGE combined rating of 89. So, again, those numbers, what they mean to someone in their average life varies, because some people don't really care if it's 200 or 300 miles for range. They're only going to go 100 miles ever, on one trip. But as far as what the EPA is saying on its website, those are some numbers that we now know about the Model X that Tesla's not announced, but we assume they will be announcing them during this event whenever it gets started.
Now, Tesla recently, sort of recently, back in May, I think it was, announced that they were having slower than expected sales in China. I think that they and probably a lot of people expected that China sales would go like gangbusters because A, there are a whole lot of people who live in China. B, they love luxury items. There's a lot of wealthy people in China who love to spend big sales of Ferraris and things like that. And C, that the air is horrible there, and you'd think that people would want to get in on an electric vehicle that doesn't contribute to the horrible pollution around cities like Beijing. But the sales of the Tesla in China were horrible. Do you have any insight on why that is the case? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer for Tesla to succeed in China, and it didn't yet. Any idea why?
Well, I don't speak Chinese. I don't have access to the local media. But the things that we heard of over here were that Tesla, didn't quite understand the Chinese market when they moved over there. We heard that they went and got a comfier back seat because, as you said, there are a lot of wealthy people in China and they appreciate luxury. But they are also not necessarily used to driving their own car. A lot of the wealthier people in China, they have drivers. And so if you make a car that drives incredibly well, if you only experience it from the back seat, that's a different thing. So I forget if they call it the executive seat, but it was some sort of upgraded, more comfortable back seat in the Model S that Tesla introduced for the Chinese market. They've also been through a couple different, national sales directors or managers over there, whatever the official title is. So people who had ideas didn't work and they're trying out new people. It definitely is a market, like you say, that is very ripe for growth and definitely has the potential to be a very big deal for Tesla. But how they crack that code hasn't been done yet. But I will not be surprised when they do figure it out. Elon is not a person to give up on something. So when it doesn't work, he will try something else, as we've seen with so many of these things. Oh, you're probably seeing something that I'm seeing now. Yeah, it looks like the event is about to begin. The stream is actually happening. So let's tune into the event. And here we are in Fremont, California.
All right.
Somebody's walking out onto the shiny stage, and that is Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla.
Right. Welcome, everyone, to the Model X launch.
Welcome to you, Elon. We've been here for an hour.
So thank you all for coming. The Tesla team has worked incredibly hard. They've done, I think, an amazing job, and I'm really looking forward to showing you the car. I want to start off just by reminding people like what the mission of Tesla is to accelerate the advent of
Is it
sustainable
Tesla or Tesla?
As I think you guys know, it's incredibly important that we move to a sustainable world sooner rather than later. The sooner we do it, the better it is. And and it's important to show that that any type of car can go electric. We showed that you could make a compelling sports car with the Roadster, and that could go electric.
This is why they pack the house with fanboys.
With a sedan, and now we're going to show that you can do it with an SUV. So we're going to start off with what's actually most important for a car, which is safety. So if you're driving, you're carrying your friends and family around, there's really nothing that's more important than safety. So first and foremost, the car's got to keep you and the ones you love safe and protect you under any circumstance you can imagine. So
the car just rolled out on stage behind a safety rating chart showing that the Model X is really, really safe. The car that they happen to roll out is white, and it's now spinning around as these car demonstrations tend to do on a big rotating stage. And it's an okay looking car. Now somebody just got out of the driver's seat and is sauntering over. I think he just handed the keys to Elon Musk, who's going to no doubt open the back doors.
There you have the Model X. I'm going to talk a lot more about the details of the car, but I'm going to start off with safety. With the Model X, we've created the safest SUV ever. It's the first SUV that's 5 stars in every category. And I thought I'd just explain what does 5 stars mean, because 5 stars is not technically a statistical number. It's sort of a rough reference point. And what it actually means is it describes the probability of a serious injury in a high-speed accident. So you start off with sort of 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, and they go down in 5% increments. So a 4-star would be a 15% probability of injury in a high-speed accident. 5-star would be 10%. Hypothetically, if there was a 6th star, it would be at 5%. And we've been able to get with the Model X an expected rating of about 6.5%. So, and so let me explain how we get to such a low probability of injury. It goes to the design of the car and the fundamental architecture. So starting off with the frontal. What happens in a frontal crash? This is where most injuries and deaths occurs in a frontal crash. And normally with a gasoline car, you've got a large steel engine block in front. And so in a high-speed impact, that engine block compresses into the passenger compartment and obviously causes damage to the people that are sitting there. With the Model X, there is no such thing. So we have a small electric motor that's down low by the battery pack. And the net effect is that you've got a much larger distance for the crumple zone. So it's really taking impact energy is about force over distance. And if you've got a longer distance, you can actually distribute that force over that longer distance and have a better deceleration and not impact the cabin. So in the case of the frontal zone, you've got something that's equivalent of, like if you were to jump out of a tall building into a pool, it's the difference between jumping into a pool or a pool with a rock in it. So you don't want the pool with the rock in it. So then going on to a side impact, the Model S and the Model X are about half of the next best in the SUV class. So the X is so the side pole intrusion is only 215 millimeters in the Model X, and that's compared to the next best SUV, which is about double that number. And let's see what that looks like in pictures. So this is what it looks like with a side. This is the actual side pole test for the Model X compared to the next best SUV in the world. Yeah. I mean, this is the difference between life and death. This is a really big difference. So, and then now let's look at the rollover numbers. So the Model X, because it has a low center of mass with the battery pack and the floor pan, has half the rollover propensity of any SUV or minivan. So the probability of a rollover injury is substantially reduced. And you can see this in the architecture. We start with the pack, and that pack provides a stiffening member for the whole car. It provides a very strong foundation for the whole car, lowering the center of mass, and serving as a load transfer medium to the rest of the vehicle. So whereas a gasoline car really just has thin corrugated sheet metal at the base and can't transfer the load in a side impact. So we'll just show you the rest of the car building up. You see the motors and the chassis. It gives you a sense for the core architecture of the car. Now, of course, the best protection is not to get into an accident at all. So the Model X comes standard with active safety, which includes automatic emergency braking and side collision avoidance. So the car will actually use the camera and the radar to automatically brake before there's an accident, and it will use the ultrasonic sensors around the side of the car to steer you away from a side collision. And these are active all the time, and it's just a standard feature in the car.
If you're joining us now, this is the TWiT Live special covering the Tesla Model X live event in Fremont, California, and speaking is Tesla CEO Elon Musk.
Is air safety. Now, we designed the car well before recent events. So it just happens to have, this recent events have illustrated the importance of air safety. And we have with the Model X the first true HEPA filter in a car. So why is it important to have a particulate filter? Why is it important to have a gas filter in the car? It's because this translates to a real change in life expectancy. So these are the most conservative numbers we could find on the internet. Like the most conservative. They go way worse than this. This is basically the least bad thing that would happen if you lived in these cities. So, and now let's take a look at the filters themselves. I want to show you just how much of a difference this is. The top one is our primary air filter. The one on the left and the bottom is our secondary air filter. The one on the right is a normal car air filter. I think we've got some of those here. So this is what a normal car filter looks like. It's really quite small. This is the primary air filter of the Model X, and this is the secondary air filter. Our secondary air filter is bigger than the primary air filter of a typical car. So and not only is it 10 times larger area, but the quality of the filter is greater. So that translates to a several hundred-fold improvement in the filtration capability. It is 300 times better at filtering bacteria, 500 times better at allergens, 700 times better at soot or smog, and 800 times better at filtering viruses. And this is on a bad day. So this is the minimum passing grade when it's just operating and it's at its worst. So, and yeah. So in addition to the particle filters, we have 3 layers of active carbon. So we've got one universal adsorbent layer, that's the initial layer. Then we've got another activated carbon layer that's meant for acid gases, and another one for alkaline gases. The net effect of the air filtration system is that you have air cleanliness levels which are comparable to a hospital operating room in the car. And in fact, when the car is operating at its at maximum capability, so if you sort of press max capability in the car, we can't even detect any viruses or bacteria or spores. So it's like 0 come through. So if there's ever sort of a apocalyptic scenario of some kind, hypothetically, you just press the bioweapon defense mode button. This is a real button. So what? Yeah, we're trying to be a leader in apocalyptic defense scenarios. Now, so let's move on to the car itself. Like, what's cool and fun about the car? Doors and windows. Okay. So, you're obviously familiar with the Falcon Wing door. What we also have is an auto-presenting front door. So, what it'll do is it'll triangulate my position and detect that I am moving towards the front door. It will open the front door without me touching anything. I will sit down and it will close the door, like an invisible chauffeur. Yeah.
Got super quiet because I guess a lot of the audio is coming through his mic.
And there are a few other features that are hard to demo in this exact scenario, but something that we worked very hard on is a windshield that's a panoramic windshield. So it comes up and over and feels like a helicopter cockpit when you're driving. So it gives you unbelievable visibility. It's transformative in the driving experience. So you really, when you do the test drives later tonight, you'll see what I mean. It's really makes a difference. And then in addition to that, we also have it's a small feature, but an important one, is the ability to blind holster your phone. So this is like one of those things where it's small, but it's important. Instead of having to fiddle with a bunch of wires to plug in your phone, you can basically take it out of your pocket and blind holster it. It'll automatically fit, and there are adapters for every variant of popular phone. So,
I love it. They have a slide to tell you that the Falcon Wing doors are coming.
Exactly. You see how much taller it is than he is. So the Falcon Wing doors, the rear doors, rose up.
The reason we created
and
these doors...
And he could just walk right under them without knocking his head.
Originally, we were trying to solve a problem, which is, how do you access the third row if you have child seats in the second row? And I encountered this problem when I first got a gasoline SUV, and I had twins, and once you put them in the second row, you couldn't access the third row. So we wanted to have an opening that was big enough so that you could do that. So you could have real utility of the third row, even if you have kid seats in the second row. So you basically just press the button. The seats will go forward. and I can step directly in.
So Elon Musk just got into the third row seats, stepped in. It was very easy to do.
It's
and
also important that if you have
two of the three
child seat here,
middle seats,
that
second row seats, went back into position.
Your kid out in front and sort of put them basically into a small hole.
And Jason's telling me that Elon Musk is 5'11".
You can actually step into the car if you want.
For scale.
And you can just put your child down in the child seat. It makes a huge difference in terms of back strain and comfort. So those are the two functional reasons, and then it also looks cool. So, yeah. So that's the Falcon Wing doors, and now obviously a question with the doors is, so how do they fit in tight spaces? Well, we'll show you. Let's bring out the cars.
So the Model X is spinning, and there's another guy coming out, getting into the driver's seat. And the doors close. They spun it around so that you were seeing the back, and the doors closed. Now, two other cars are coming out and parking right next to either side of the Model X. And he's going to demonstrate that when you're in a tight parking spot, the Falcon Wing doors don't hit the other cars.
So the scenario we're going to show you here is if you've ever been in a parking lot and someone parked real close.
And that's a Honda minivan and not sure the other one.
So they got the Tesla Model X boxed in pretty well.
I don't know if you can see well here, but there's only about a few inches separating the side mirrors on each side of the car. So we're going to open the Falcon Wing doors when there's barely enough room to squeeze between the two cars.
So the doors are opening, and they're not even getting anywhere near. They kind of just slide almost straight up. And then the second set of hinges raises them up high above the other
cars. So the reason it's able to do that is because unlike a traditional gull-wing door, which is only actuated on a single hinge, the Model X Falcon Wing doors are actuated on two hinges. So it's able to move up and over instead of simply moving out in a broad arc. And moreover, if you compare it to, say, a minivan door, let's open the minivan door here. You can see that when the minivan door opens, I can't even get through that space. So let's close the minivan door. Now the Falcon Wing door is open.
So he demonstrated that
so our goal was to
with the Model X door open and up and above the car instead of next to it, it maximizes the amount of space when you're in a tight parking spot. Nice demo.
That is pretty.
Well, I certainly want one. Don't you think we should have a TWiT company car?
Yes, news van.
Yeah, exactly. A news minivan.
There you go.
And just to illustrate what it's like in a garage, so you saw what it's like if it's tight from a side standpoint. Well, what if you have a low garage? That's one of the most common questions I get about the Model X. The car actually automatically senses what the roof height is. So there are ultrasonic sensors in the roof of the car that calculate the roof height and automatically compute a new opening arc depending upon what the height of the ceiling is and what the side obstacles are.
That's amazing. Did you catch that, folks? He's basically saying that it knows how high the roof is and will change how the doors open accordingly.
Ultrasonic sensor that's able to do sonar through metal. So in order to avoid having a puck, which is ordinarily needed for ultrasonic sensors, we thought the aesthetics of the puck would not be good to be because it would have to be in the center of the door. So we actually developed an ultrasonic sensor that can literally see through metal. All right. So let's maybe talk a bit more about the second row seats.
It's still there. He's just not talking.
So normally second row seats in a car don't get a lot of love.
There was a hush that came over the ground.
So let's show you what second row seats typically look like in a car. So that's sort of what second row seats normally look like. But particularly when you open something and it's silhouetted as it does with the Falcon Wing door, it tends to create a halo around the seat. So we put a lot of effort into creating a beautiful seat. And not only is the seat, I think, probably the best looking second seat, if that's a superlative, ever, but it actually provides more functionality because you have a flat floor and you can stow if something. So if you've got a backpack or a laptop or a handbag, you can stow that under the seat instead of having it at your feet. So it actually provides utility as well as aesthetics. All right.
And the second row seats are independently adjustable.
Let's see what the Model X can really carry.
It's going to be like a clown car. Now another Model X is coming out. This one is, what is that, black?
Looks black, yeah.
It's towing an
Airstream.
An Airstream. Yeah, this is going to be a clown car.
The Model X is capable of towing 5,000 pounds.
And the car's got a family in it.
5,000 pounds while carrying 7 people and quite a lot of luggage. Yeah.
Boy, that little baby who's in the baby seat there is going to have a story. I was there with the original Model X.
And of course, let's not forget about the front.
Oh yeah, there's the...
Yes, we need the stroller.
There's a trunk in the front, of course. And they're demonstrating that they're pulling out all kinds of stuff, including a baby stroller out of the front, where in conventional car the motor is.
Do you want to put them in, or do you want to carry them out? All right.
They were in baby seats.
All right.
And there's a cool surfboard on the side of the Airstream.
If I counted that right, that was 7 people that just got out of there?
Right, so there you have it. Model X carrying seven people.
Yeah, exactly.
A 5,000-pound trailer, and I lost count of how many bags. And a stroller.
Tesla should make a trailer next. Really major battery power, so you don't have to plug in. Right, another Model X came out. Does that look dark red?
All right, so
looks burgundy or maroon.
We developed for the Model X.
Merlot. Bicycle on stage.
Like, let's say you want to carry skis, bikes, and you want to do that quickly and easily. We made an accessories hitch that can be put on by a kid in approximately 10 seconds.
So there's like a, I don't know, a 9-year-old kid, a 10-year-old kid who just put on
like
the
5
accessory hitch.
seconds. So the accessories hitch can carry up to 4 bikes or up to 6 sets of skis. And you can close the trunk and have full functionality with the rest of the car.
Except that bike would slide right off. There's got to be some way to make the bike stay there. Ooh, it has headlights,
Skis and
too.
snowboards, indeed. And then the final element, of course, is performance. So even the standard version of the Model X has quite high performance. So it's got the standard version, 90D's, got 257-mile range, all-wheel drive, of course, and it gets to 60 miles an hour in 4.8 seconds. And then the P90D.
So it's supposed to be
Ludicrous
3.2, but that's probably the
mode.
insane mode.
I mean, this goes so fast
There
it's
it is,
wrong.
3.2 seconds.
So do 0 to 60. This is an SUV, and it'll do 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds.
250-mile range, all-wheel drive.
All right.
That's impressive.
All right. So with that, let me let's hand over the post-production cars. All right.
And you get a car, and you get a car.
All right. So let's see. VIN 6. Hey. Hey, Ara. What's up, man? Amazing. Hey.
Congratulations. Such an awesome job.
All right, cool. Nice license plates.
It's got a license plate
All right.
that says Tesla X.
All right.
TSLAX.
All right. It's VIN 5.
Yeah. So I guess these are the people
Cars
who
coming
ordered
soon.
really early.
All right.
Yeah.
See?
I mean, are they going to give them all out right now?
So is that vehicle
the
VIN
call
number
piece of
really
this,
just 5?
I guess so. Why not? Hear the tires squeaking on
All right,
the
thanks.
shiny floor.
That's a nice pewter color.
Yeah.
All right. And
They're getting to the
VIN 4.
passenger seat. They don't want people plowing into the audience out of excitement, because that would mar the event. Yeah, they're just...
stand
they're-
for Sergey. All right. All right. Oh, hang on. Let's see.
Wow. So
VIN
yeah,
3.
it's just calling out VIN numbers and people coming up, getting into the passenger seat of their cars. Ooh, there's a blue one.
All right. Good to see you.
I'm not sure what the point of this is.
Hey. Thank you.
If you're joining us now, we are at the Tesla Model X live event in Fremont, California.
All right.
Elon
and
Musk
VIN
is now
2.
giving away, or not giving away, but turning over to their new owners a few cars,
right.
their early VIN numbers. Hugs all around. And again, I don't know what the point of this is. The demonstration was very, very impressive.
And then, let's see.
Elon Musk went into a great deal of detail about the safety features and made a really compelling case that this has got to be the safest SUV ever. He went into some length about the gull-wing doors and pointed out that they're going to be really easy to deal with when you're in a tight parking spot. They come up and straight up and then out, so you're not hitting the car next to you. And when they're open, you can still get in the car. Talked about the interior, talked about the layout, lots and lots of features. And now Elon Musk is just leaving the stage. So this is really an exciting thing. And so Sebastian Blanco, who is the editor-in-chief of Autoblog Green, was with us at the beginning of this. He had to duck out, and we thank him for coming on this special event. All the rumors were true, by the way, as far as we know. It does, in fact, go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. And as Elon Musk made a point of emphasizing, that's an SUV. It's a really, really fast SUV. So if all of these claims are true, this car is very fast, very comfortable, very convenient to own and use. It has all kinds of sensors. There's even an ultrasonic sensor that goes through metal that can detect the height of the garage roof. So when those Falcon wing doors open, it won't actually hit the roof if you got a low garage roof. Lots of technology, lots of emphasis on the comfort of the interior, including a really long presentation about the HEPA filters that filter the air from the outside coming into the car so that the air inside the car is very clean air. That was interesting. I'd never really seen that kind of emphasis on cabin air quality in a demonstration of a car before. So that was an impressive thing. And of course, people who were interested enough to drive an electric car like this and spend this kind of money are going to appreciate clean air, because ultimately that's why I guess they would buy an electric car. Yeah, it just looks like a top-notch car, and we're going to be talking about this again tomorrow on Tech News Today at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1700 UTC. Of course, you can subscribe to Tech News Today on twit.tv/TNT. And so this has been our TWiT Live special covering the Tesla Model X live event in Fremont, California, a special demonstration by Tesla CEO Elon Musk. If you've been watching this whole show, you are probably as impressed as I am. But again, this stuff doesn't come cheap. This is an expensive car. He didn't talk about pricing, but we expect the range to be from $75,000 to $132,000, depending on which accessories you get and so on. My name is Mike Elgin. Thank you for tuning in to this TWiT Live special, and we'll see you on the other shows on the TWiT network. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.